Right, YouTube, Shadow King Nazu, and I'm here with my review for Dragon Ball Super Broly. So, yeah, I went to go see it at the theaters last night. I was planning on doing this video yesterday, but it just wasn't a good time, and also I couldn't find a time to get some time to myself and record it without any interruptions. So I'm doing it right now. So, Dragon Ball Super Broly takes a little bit after the Tournament of Power saga, or the Universe Survival saga. We don't know how long it was from, but based on what Vegeta said, it's not too far off. So, it's pretty much that. And the story is that it focuses one part on the past, before Planet Vegeta. 5 years before Planet Vegeta was destroyed, and Frieza inherits King Cold's empire and starts to enlist the Saiyans into his service, and gives them scouters, blah blah blah, and the Saiyans aren't taking it too well, especially King Vegeta, who was hoping that his son, Vegeta, who we learned is Vegeta the Fourth, good grief, that is one conceited family. It might be the one to overthrow Frieza and take over the universe and blah blah blah. And we all know how well that turns out. But when he sees Broly and learns that his power is potentially higher than his own son's, he decides to exile him. Which is actually a lot smarter than what he did in the original Broly movies. Which, in case you didn't know, this was a remake of the original Broly movies, which were actually the worst Dragon Ball movies. But Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, decided to do his own take on Broly's story, and trust me, it is a lot better. And so, after hearing that his own son has been exiled like a low-class Saiyan, he realized that Vegeta, despite saying that it's because Broly is too powerful and he might go mad with his own power and destroy the universe, Broly's father, Paragus, realizes that King Vegeta did this out of jealousy and decides to go after his son and raise him to help him get revenge on King Vegeta and his bloodline. And then we cut back to the Dragon Ball Minus part of the story, which is basically how Goku came to Earth and Bardock making sure he gets there before Frieza destroys the planet. And it was a pretty touching moment. A lot of people had mixed feelings on the manga version of Dragon Ball Minus because they felt that Bardock was too soft and wasn't as badass as he was. And in the original Dragon Ball Bardock special, especially with him taking out a whole army of Frieza soldiers before dying from Frieza's death ball. That still doesn't happen, but at least he does kind of try to rebel against Frieza by doing his ultimate attack against Frieza's death ball. But all in all, I'd say it's a pretty touching moment. Sonya Street did a pretty good job acting as Bardock. He still sounds kind of cold, but you can tell he does have some affection towards Goku because he says that he spent his whole life killing people. He wants to try saving a life for once. So yeah, that's kind of what I believe Masaka Nozawa wanted for Bardock to be softened up a little bit. And I'm not sure if Sonya Straight wanted the same thing, but I imagine he probably did too. So yeah, it's pretty good. Gine, we didn't get much for her, but she did seem like a nice, caring person, and we know that she's not one of the. She's one that stays home because she doesn't have a very strong power level. What I found interesting was that we didn't get to see the whole part about Beerus ordering Frieza to destroy Planet Vegeta because that's part of the canon now. So I guess maybe Akira Toriyama kind of forgot to put that in. And then after that, we cut to the present, and Goku and Vegeta are training, and Beerus and Whis wanted to know why Goku and Vegeta want to get stronger. Goku naturally just wants to get stronger because he actually fought Jiren. He knows that he could potentially, there are maybe stronger opponents than Jiren, and he wants to get stronger so he can fight them. Whereas Vegeta wants to prepare to face Frieza. I appreciate the sentiment, Vegeta, and you're being a bit more responsible than Goku, but Frieza isn't all that much of a threat to you. At this point. Plus, you have the aid of the gods. And then again, speaking of the gods, if Whis didn't revive Frieza with his staff, this wouldn't be an issue. Especially since Goku couldn't keep his promise of bringing Frieza back with the Earth Dragon Balls. Since they are already used to bring back Frieza, and you can't do it twice, but whatever. So speaking of Frieza, he steals the Dragon Balls, or at least gets his henchmen to do it, and is all for the wish of becoming 5 centimeters taller in his final and golden form, because he's sick of people calling him a pipsqueak and wants to make it seem like he's still growing. Oh my god, this character is so vain. But then again, that's not too far off from what Bulma wants, which is to be 5 years younger. So it doesn't seem like she's getting that old. Why Bulma doesn't just wish for eternal youth, I'll never know. Or maybe because she feels that might cause a scandal or something. And Goku even makes the joke that maybe that's what she's been doing with the Dragon Balls recently, just keeping herself looking 5 years younger so she doesn't look as old as she actually is. And honestly, I'd actually buy that. Bulma is pretty vain too. And then we cut to Frieza's servants, Shile and Lemon, I think that's what his name was, finding Paragus and Broly on planet Vampa that they've been living on for about the past 27 years? 27, 40 years? I don't know. And they've pretty much were impressed by Broly's power and think that they make great addition to the Frieza Force. And Frieza is impressed by this and hopes that they could use Broly's high power to fight the Saiyans, Goku and Vegeta, and it pretty much goes from there. And yeah, that's kind of not meaty for a story, but it does pretty well. The pacing was pretty good. The action was well done, despite Akira Toriyama not being too involved in what happens in the action. That was all Toei, which was pretty good. They did base some things off the original Broly movie, so they did have something to work off on. I did like how Broly actually feels like an actual character and has a personality and intelligence and a decent character motivation instead of being a complete retard. He wants to avenge his family by fighting Vegeta, and also he's trying to obey his father, who still kind of uses a collar to control him. We can understand his actions, but we still think that it's kind of harsh, especially Chile does. I also like he has the connection between Chile and Broly. And I feel that a lot of people are going to be shipping. You know what? I think a lot of people already started shipping those two, which is going to cause a bit of a fan war between the Broly and Chile shippers and the Broly and Kale shippers. So that should be a thing. We also got to see that Gogeta became canon to fight Broly. So, Gogeta was always theoretically canon, but we just officially made him canon. I do like this version of Gogeta. He can make jokes and he's a little bit cocky before a fight, but while he's during the fight, he takes it a little bit more. He takes it seriously. So, I mean, that's a step up from like his son Gotenks, who's always cocky and fools around all the time. I don't hate Gotenks like a lot of people do, but I will admit it's one of his more annoying qualities. As for Frieza, I mean, he served the role well, especially for helping Broly confront Goku and Vegeta, and as well as helping him get his Super Saiyan form. Even though I still don't like Frieza on a whole, and I really wish that Akira Toriyama would just kill this character already and just let him stay dead. But it's doing all right. What else? The artwork was pretty good. It's reminiscent of the classic Dragon Ball, from like Dragon Ball up the way to the Frieza saga before Akira Toriyama changed his art style from Cell Saga all the way to Super. Everybody gave a pretty good performance. Chris Ayers, you did a pretty good job as Frieza despite being sick, and I hope you're getting well. So you try to take care of yourself. I'm sure your understudy is doing well in Dragon Ball Super. And I really enjoyed that Goku finally embraced his Saiyan heritage thanks to Broly, by allowing himself to be called Kakarot. Because before he didn't very much care for his Saiyan heritage, because his only experience was his brother, Nappa, and Vegeta, who were all a bunch of assholes who loved killing people. So which was against what Goku valued. So, I mean, but he started to accept it more after he said that the Saiyans weren't all that bad compared to people like Frieza. But now that he's seen Broly, who's a pure-blooded Saiyan and isn't evil, and he's kind of docile, he just has a lot of anger issues. He can finally accept his Saiyan name, which is a good character development for Goku. We also might get some more of him trying to learn more about his Saiyan past. Maybe try to learn more about his father and his mother. So all in all, I did think that Dragon Ball Super Broly was a good movie, good time. I would highly recommend you watch it. Do I think it's better than Battle of Gods? In terms of action and art style, yes. Story, that's a little bit weaker on that part. I mean, it didn't expand the lore that much, as opposed to Battle of Gods, which I feel greatly expanded the lore and offered many more potential stories. I mean, I'm not sure where they're going to take Broly with. I mean, because the next story has to do with this Moro character and has some focus on Majin Buu. I'm glad that's going to be a thing because Dragon Ball has been giving Buu the shaft. I mean, for the past couple of arcs. I mean, another negative towards this is that the other Z fighters didn't get involved. I mean, the other Z fighter we see is Piccolo, and he doesn't get involved because he feels that he's going to he probably get in the way in a fight against Broly. So he just offers help in teaching Vegeta the fusion technique, which officially confirms that Vegeta did not know the fusion dance. We can finally end that debate. Oh, and also Frieza didn't know about Goku and Vegeta's ability to fuse, which kind of contradicts the anime, when Frieza did know about the fusion technique. So, we're going to have a little bit of that contradiction. But all in all, yeah, still pretty good movie. Highly recommend you go watch it. So, those are all my thoughts about Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I'll catch you guys later.